Hi there everyone, welcome again to Indian Story Read Along. Today's story is from an edition of Tinkle. Tinkle always puts out these fortnightly issues, as you can see. Fortnightly means every 2 weeks, and they always put these numbers on there and not the date, so I don't really know when it is from. When is it? I don't know. I'll find out somewhere in the book, I think, and I'll put it in the description. But it's from a very long time ago. I know because I collect and I keep all these books from whenever my family took a trip back to India from Canada, where I was born. So this story is from Tinkle Fortnightly, and it's called The First Invitation. And they always have these Reader's Choice stories that are sent in by somebody, and they publish them. They put drawings for them, and they publish them. So this actually takes place in the east of India, in Manipur. So this was, okay, yes, there you can see it right there. That's where I see it, Manipur. And that's where he's from, and that's where the story takes place. So, the first invitation. There was jubilation, that means happiness and celebration, in the kingdom of King Moham. A prince is born, all the villagers and all the people in the kingdom are saying. Long live the king, long live our prince. It was a long-awaited event. The naming ceremony of the prince was attended by hundreds. The prince shall be named Thang Hao. The procession was held in his honor. Hail Thang Hao! I bet he's like this tiny, look at that, it's like a tiny little red dot. this baby in a cradle, not knowing what's going on around him, but everyone's celebrating him. But just a day after the event, there was tragedy at the palace. What happens? The prime minister, the most trusted of all the king's men, passed away. So the king is saying there, I feel such a loss. And the queen is saying he was one of a kind. That night, the king had an awful nightmare and awoke with a start. So he's saying to his queen, I dreamt that after my death, one of my ministers usurped the throne and killed Thang Hao. Usurped means taking over the throne by force. So they would get an army behind him in secret, somebody who was going to usurp the throne. They would have forces and soldiers and an army behind them. And on one day, they would just make a surprise attack, and they would get rid of the main person who was supposed to have the throne, and they would take it for themselves. That's what usurping means. And then the queen says, oh no, what a horrible thought. So without a prime minister, which is the king's main advisor, it is a very, very difficult thing to run a kingdom. And also it means that the kingdom is not stable. So now the king's main focus is not on his baby, but to get that stability back in his kingdom. He has to have a new prime minister. And hey, that's what the queen thought. You must appoint a new prime minister at once. And then he says, yes, it is an important task. I must choose with great care. So you cannot just give this post to anyone. They have to be very, very wise and even-handed. They have to take every fact into account. They can't be emotional or jumping to conclusions. This is a job where you're kind of running the kingdom and you can't make a mistake. So now, let's see what the king does. The king decided to go disguised as a pauper. That means a very, very poor person, a beggar, to the houses of all his ministers. And then he says in disguise, I can't believe they don't recognize him. That's the only thing. So he says, in disguise, my daughter is getting married on Sunday. I request you to come and bless her, kind lord. And then this one guy says, off with you. What kind of wedding would a pauper have? How dare you ask me? So not only, like, he's very unkind, meaning like he's only going to mix with people of his own class, wealthy, educated people. So the king keeps trying, the pauper keeps trying. This was the case with all of the other ministers, all except Vinamralal. But of course, says Vinamralal, that guy on the left, but of course, where is it being held? He's very kind. and he's just happy to be invited. And then the pauper, the king says, in Nahanpur village, near the Shiva temple. The next day, all the ministers were invited to the palace on Sunday to celebrate the king's 60th birthday. Oh, 60, and he just had a baby. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was a long-awaited event. Yeah, the prince's birth. I just got that. He's 60 years old, and they were looking for a prince or some kind of heir to the throne. So this is a very, very important thing. In Hindu tradition, the 60th birthday is super, super important, especially for men. And it is a huge thing. And it's on the same day as the pauper's wedding. Vinamralal too set off. But then he thought, oh, I almost forgot. Today is also the wedding I've been invited to. So he doesn't just think, oh, okay, I don't care. I mean, I'm going to blow off this pauper that I don't even know for the king's 60th birthday. He decides that he was invited to one thing first, and he's going to honor that invitation. He rushed to the Nahanpur village. Oops, sorry. That's strange. There is no wedding here. Vinamralal rushed back, but it was too late to go to the palace. The next day. So look, he is actually going to be really taken to task. This is the king's final test. Not only does he know what happened, he's trying to embarrass him in front of the entire court, and he wants to see how he holds up. A prime minister has to be very strong. He has to stick to the decision that he made if he knows that he made it with a sense of justice and fairness. So then he yells at him, the king, how could you refuse a royal invitation? Vinamralal explained meekly, I'm sorry. I had an earlier invitation. However humble the occasion may be, I must honor each invitation. The king was delighted. He had found his man. I pronounce you my prime minister. You deserve the post. Why do you think the king tested them so hard? Because I think my reason, is because he's going to be tested like that as prime minister. If he makes a decision and somebody thinks it's wrong, he is going to be taken to task, not privately, but in front of everyone. And he has to be able to defend that decision. And if you have the right, like the moral right on your side, if you are correct, then you will always be able to justify that decision. So this story was called The First Invitation, and it is from Tinkle Fortnightly. If you would like more stories like this, we read them all the time on Indian Story Read Along. So please join us again, and if you like this story, think about subscribing to this channel. All right, see you soon.